Hello, this is Secular Homeschool Dad. I am Ginger Jesus. As a homeschool parent, I care less about the facts my children know and how they see the world when they leave my home. Can they make decisions? Do they have the ability to look at a situation and realize what is beneficial, what is not beneficial? Will they be wise? Will they be able to look at the world and go, will they be able to make it on an emotional level as well as an intellectual one? And that's what I care about as a homeschooler. I care about them leaving my home as ready emotionally and intellectually as possible. Which means I have to be as emotionally and intellectually ready as possible in my day-to-day life. I have to look at myself and realize that I am not a perfect being. I am not the person I want my children to be, and how can I expect them to be that thing if I won't work on myself, if I can't become the better person, if I can't look at the way I see the world and cut out the things in it that are wrong or harmful or shameful, if I can't look at my own worldview and realize there are parts of it that need to go so that I can teach to my children how to look at the world in a positive mindset, so I can teach my children how to look at the world from a safe mindset so they can go out into the world and be okay. Because you want your child to adopt your worldviews. Make sure your worldviews are correct, because they're going to define themselves based on your template, either in solidarity or opposition to. And the template you give your children will say a lot about their morals and their values and the way they see the world. It's a pure simple fact. It's not even a nature versus nurture thing. They're all combined. They're all the same thing. There is no difference. The way we see the world has a lot to do with the way we're raised. And I know the nature part's got a lot to do with it, because my kids got the same Asperger's I do, so bit of nature there, I'm just saying. But the nurture takes a big step, and the two work together to build a beautiful person, assuming you give them a template that they can build off of. Are you emotionally stable? Are you emotionally intelligent? Are you able to see the world and see good where there is good and fear bad where there is bad? And we want our children to view the world the same way we do, and there's multiple ways to do this. There's a hard path that I find to be much more fulfilling, which is being emotionally open with my children, emotionally open with myself, looking at my inner demons, and even coming to grips with a lot of that stuff. And while not exposing the deep core of hurt to my children, letting them know that yeah, I had some issues being raised, and I'm not a perfect person, and I can apologize for my faults when I mess up, and I expect my children to own up to theirs as well. My youngest child is 5 years old, and when she gets in trouble, when she messes up, when she is hurt, or she is in pain, or she has done something she's not supposed to do. She has gotten into trouble. She is into mischief. She's 5. She's supposed to get into mischief. She's supposed to do these things. How do I react when tested? How to react when my 5-year-old gets into the fridge, spills something, makes a huge mess? Do I scream? Do I yell? At my kitchen? Oh, baby, you made a mess. We gotta clean that up. Yeah, I know it was an accident. It's okay. It's fine. You're not in trouble. We gotta clean it up still. Go get a towel. Why yell? She already knows she messed up. She knows she did wrong. Let's teach her how to clean it up. Let's teach her how to be responsible for her actions. Yelling at her, kicking her out of the kitchen, that's not going to teach her nothing. That's going to teach her you're angry and she shouldn't do that. I'd rather she knew how to get her own breakfast in the morning. If she spills her milk every now and then, so be it, so long as by the time I wake up, it's cleaned up, right? That's what I want. I want children who know how to do things and get things done, which means sometimes you got to let them do things, and when they mess up, you can't scream. You got to show them. You got to keep your cool. You got to be calm. Keep your composure. These things happen. They're 5. They're going to get older. They're going to do worse stuff for the exact same reason. All right? If you homeschool, your kids are going to be exploring your world, their world, all over the place. They're going to wake up one morning to find your house trashed in glitter. Deal with it. Make them clean up. Keep your cool. There's the other way, of course, which is more of an authoritarian stance, which is more because I said so, my way or the highway, do as you're told. I was raised that way. A lot of other people were raised that way. How did it end up? Did it work for you? It didn't work for me. I saw my father as an authoritarian figure. I did not see him as somebody to respect. I saw him as somebody to fear, and I did what I was told for that reason. That was not a healthy experience to grow in. I didn't grow in it. I left. There's a difference. I want my children to leave my house knowing that they're ready for the world. Because authoritarian parenting is lazy and counterproductive. It just is. Like, we all know it in our heart. It's just sometimes it feels good, doesn't it? To yell a little, to scream, to get angry. Feels a little good, right? Deep down. Oh, it feels good to just kind of go, what the... Oh! I've had to apologize to my children before. I've had to go to their rooms like 20 minutes later and be like, you know what, that was uncalled for, and I'm sorry I blew up. That was not your fault at all. That was completely me. I'm sorry if I made you feel fear or guilt or shame, because I'm sure I did, and I'm sorry. Take ownership when you mess up. Teach them how to take ownership when they mess up. My children apologize to me when things go wrong. Do you know why? Because I have apologized to them when things go wrong, and I know that they don't judge me, and I have taught them not to be judged. You messed up. Messing up is a part of life. What did you learn? Did you learn something? Then you didn't mess up. You learned something. You're still at home. You're a child. You're allowed to learn things. Learn everything. Clean up when you're done. But it's not dismissive parenting, this stuff I do. This isn't, there are consequences. There are things my children have to do. They do have chores. They have responsibilities. Responsibilities that aren't met or reached have consequences. This is not a dismissive parenting style. There is structure. Because a child requires structure to feel safe in their home, to know that the rules are secure, the rules are safe. They are safe. They know that their parents are emotionally stable. That's what structure is for. But structure is not rigidity. Structure is foundation. Structure is support. So we like to parent with consequences. Do a thing, get a consequence. Don't do a thing, get a consequence. Not doing a thing is an action, doing a thing. And we try to lay everything out ahead of time. If you go to the store and buy this thing for me, I'll let you keep the change. Thanks. Action, consequence. Positive, negative. We all know what negative consequences are, of course. If you don't vacuum the floor, I'm going to take away your phone. Got an hour to get it done because I'm going to go into the office and do something. So you got an hour to get this done, and if I come out and it's not done, I'm taking your phone away for the day. You got time? Plenty of time. Respect the choices, though. Sometimes they're going to decide, you know what, they're going to test you. They're going to see if you're actually going to follow through on your consequence. They're going to test you a lot. Be consistent. Be upfront, but be fair. If they choose that the consequence of losing their phone is not worth the bother of vacuuming, don't worry about it. Tomorrow will come around. The vacuum will still be there. The phone will still be in your back pocket. So, you need the vacuum cleaned. Living room vacuumed. You can have the phone back after the living room is vacuumed. Bring that to them the next day. It's easy. Eventually, they're going to learn. If you do the thing I ask now, the negative consequences won't happen. On the flip side, of course, you got to have positive consequences as well, because you want to create that thought pattern. You want to create those brain pathways. You want to create the idea of, if I do something for something positive will happen. It's not something you get in an authoritarian home. Usually, if you follow the rules, good. Thank you. You did exactly as you're supposed to. You got to build those. You got to respect your child's choices, because they're going to make bad choices. They're going to make a lot of bad choices until they stop making bad choices. And the day they stop making bad choices, man, you will rejoice. But they're going to keep making bad choices for a long time because they're children, and that's what they do. Respect them. If they keep making the same bad choice over and over again, you can just, make the consequence a bit steeper. You seem not to care about losing your phone. Okay. Oh, that's because you've been on your DS. Well, you know what? We can take that too. Eventually, you're going to vacuum the living room. I'll just slowly take away all your electronics one day at a time. It's fine. The difference there is that you've taken your child's phone and you walk in and you expect that they are bored because you want them to be punished. You want it to be punitive. But instead, they're on your DS, and your instinct is to go, no, give me the DS too. That wasn't part of the deal. You didn't negotiate that. Because that's what it is. You're teaching your child how to negotiate. What are they willing to put up with? What are they willing to deal with? What are they willing to do? And right now, when they're young and their brain is on short term, great time to teach them how to think long term. But you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent just for the sake of consistency. Because that's how your children are going to know that you're sincere. How you mean it. They're going to learn your template. They're going to learn how to parent based on how you parent. And how you parent has a lot to do. How they see you parenting has a lot to do with how calm you maintain yourself and how much you're willing to apologize when you yell, scream, give up, give in. How self-reflective are you? Are you able to look at the world and go, yeah, I got some shit to work through. One last thing I want to bring up before I go away. There's a phrase that has always bothered me, and that is simply praise. No one ever praised me for doing my job. It always bothered me because, don't you want that? Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to be told, good job. You did good today. That thing I asked you to do, that thing you didn't want to do, that thing you grumbled about, that thing we worked a week on getting you to do, I noticed you did it today. I know you don't like doing it. I know you fought against it. I know you didn't want to do it, but you did it, and thank you. Notice things. Notice when they do things. Even when they don't do them well, notice it. Hey, you did the thing. We need to talk about how you did the thing, but you did the thing. And when your kids go above and beyond, you need to say something. When your kids go beyond what you asked them to do something else, Whether for you or a different parent or a sibling, you need to say something. Because looking at your child and saying, I noticed you did good today, that'll make them want to keep doing good. And isn't that the point? Alright. Well, that's it for me today. Good luck out there. Ginger Jesus out.